My name is Lisa Schroeder. I'm a young adult author of 3 novels so far: I Heart You, You Haunt Me, Far From You, and Chasing Brooklyn. And today, as part of the Write On conference, I'm going to talk a little bit about romance in YA and give you some tips to hopefully help you if you have a novel you're working on that isn't going to include some romance in it. I think romance has become huge in YA. It's hard to find books, honestly, that don't have a little bit of it in them. There are some, of course. I think, too, to really think about this, oftentimes the best romances may be the romance that's sort of there, but there's another plot line that's going alongside it, that it's not just the major part of the book, but there's always exceptions to that. It's just kind of nice when maybe the romance is sort of a really strong subplot in the book. So something to think about. I think, I look back at my high school days and I remember that I was pretty much, if I wasn't thinking about romance, I was probably sleeping. So I really do think that it's a huge part of most teens' lives. And that's why it's so prevalent and why teens are so hungry for books that include it. Okay, so we're going to get started. I wanted to do something fun, sort of have a little bit of a theme with this talk, because it's easier for me to do something around a theme. And some of you know that I have a middle grade novel that came out recently, and it's called It's Raining Cupcakes. So guess what the theme is? Cupcakes! And look, I even bought a prop. Yes, there we go. No, I won't. I will refrain. Okay, so let's get started. The first letter, so we're going to use the letters in Cupcake to spell out some thoughts. Do you have a notebook ready? Have a notebook, and these are some things that you can write down. Okay, so first, you must have a connection of some kind. Sometimes this is looks, obviously, but it doesn't have to be. But your characters need to connect somehow about something. Sometimes it's in a class that they connect. Sometimes it's, the quiet guy who she's never noticed suddenly tells a hilarious joke and he's on her radar. Something is going to make them connect. And so that's how it sort of gets started. What I would encourage you to do is to think about beyond looks. So often it's looks, and I get that, but if it's going to be a lasting kind of relationship, there has to be more there than just looks. Now, sometimes we're talking a fling is going to happen. And if that's what's going on, then you may not need more than a physical attraction. And a couple of examples of books that I've read recently where there was more of a fling sort of thing is 20 Boy Summer, Sarah Auckler, and The Lighter Side of Life and Death by C.K. Kelly Martin. Really, really good books. Some hot scenes in them. So if you're looking for some good romance, check those books out. Okay, next, unattractive is okay. One of the things I love about John Green's books is that not everyone in his books are beautiful, handsome, perfect, wonderful. They have some flaws. They're different. I get a little bit aggravated, to be honest, when everybody is so perfect, so incredibly, whatever. So think about that. Think about what can you do to make your character interesting and not rely on looks so much. The other thing that I wanted to say with the P is perfect is not okay. Perfect is boring. Perfect is going to set girls, especially who are they're the ones reading these, up to be believing that, Prince Charming exists without any flaws out there. And that's not true. We don't want to give that impression, I don't think. So think about, give your characters flaws. I love reading books where the characters are flawed and they're not perfect, because it makes me feel better about my flaws, of which there are many. So don't do the whole, think about how your character appears on the page, okay? Next up, when you're talking two characters, coming together. Their interests complement each other. So we're going to use my visual aid, the wonderful, beautiful cupcake. So here we have vanilla frosting with vanilla cupcake. You know, chocolate and chocolate, obviously. So there's those kinds of things where they're very much alike. And you will have characters, that's why they're attracted to each other. They both, you know, are drawn to the same music. They both maybe like video games. They have the same interests. Sometimes, though, you might have a chocolate cupcake with peanut butter frosting, which is really good if you've had that before. That's my husband's favorite. And there you have two, you know, they're sort of different, but they still go together. And that can be interesting where, yeah, they're fans of music. And If I Stay comes to mind, and I don't have the book here, but If I Stay by Gail Forman, you know, they're attracted to each other. They both love music, but not necessarily the same kind of music. That's kind of chocolate with peanut butter. Now, you wouldn't want to put two people together that it's like a carrot cupcake with peanut butter frosting. Like the reader would be going, what? Why do they like each other? It makes no sense. It has to make sense that your characters are drawn to each other. This is basically the point I'm making with all the cupcake talk. No. Okay. The other thing, next, they admire desirable traits in each other. By this I mean, in I Heart You, You Haunt Me, right here, Ava is a quiet girl. She likes to read. She goes to the library. She likes to make, you know, CDs for her friends, bake cookies. She swims, but generally she's not a really outgoing person. Jackson, who is her boyfriend, is very outgoing. He loves to go on hikes, very, you know, adventurous. And she sees that, and there's a part of her maybe that wants to be a little bit more like that. So that's what I mean. It's sort of the opposites attract that we hear, but it's more than that. It's showing us what does that character have that the other character admires. You know, you admire things about each other. Show us that. When I was writing Chasing Brooklyn, which is here somewhere, here, my editor said, you have to show me why these two characters are being drawn to each other. I'm not getting it. I don't get it. There needs to be more here. And that's what I had to bring out, that the two characters had things in each other that they admired about each other. Okay, next is K. K is a hard letter. I came up with keep it believable and real. Nothing irks me more than, you know, I'm reading along and things are going well, and then suddenly, like, there's two people committed and a third person comes in, and suddenly for no apparent reason, maybe he's cute or something, but really no apparent reason, the other person, they're drawn, and suddenly you have a triangle happening. Do you see what I mean? Make it believable, make it real, make it make sense. Two books that, and I use the term love triangle really loosely, but two books that I think did a really good job. Bloom by Elizabeth Scott, love that book, and then Flash Burnout by L.K. Madigan. Check those books out and see how they really kept it real with that, you know, torn between two people kind of thing going on. And then finally, encompass a wide range of emotions. When I was writing I Heart You, You Haunt Me, or during revisions, my editor said, Jackson is way too perfect. Like, he's always just happy, and doesn't he do anything else? And so I had to rough him up a little bit. I had to show him getting mad. I had to show him getting upset. I had to show him, you know, being sad. So in your relationship, make sure that there's things happening that we see all sides. Just like a normal relationship in real life, you know, is like. Okay, my time is up, folks. I'm really glad you joined me today for this quick talk that involved cupcakes and romance. Now, go give your sweetie a kiss and tell him to go buy you some cupcakes. Okay, have fun at the conference and happy writing. Bye.